Back when kids ran barefoot through sunlit fields and lunchboxes weren't stuffed with gourmet treats, families made magic out of modest ingredients, turning simple sandwiches into cherished midday feasts. Today, we're celebrating those humble picnic sandwiches that filled our bellies and hearts, honoring the hands that lovingly packed them for childhood adventures under the open sky. Peanut butter and jelly. Few sandwiches are as instantly recognizable or as deeply ingrained in our collective childhood memory as the classic peanut butter and jelly. Just the smell alone can take you back. The nutty, roasted aroma of peanut butter mingling with the sweet, slightly tart scent of grape jelly, fresh out of the jar. It's the sandwich that defined countless lunchboxes and picnic baskets, sticky fingers and all, a symbol of comfort and simplicity, wrapped in soft, squishy white bread. This humble pairing is more than just a quick snack. Its roots trace back to hard times and resourceful kitchens. During the Great Depression, peanut butter emerged as a cheap, nutritious protein source, accessible to many families struggling to stretch their food budget. Jelly or jam, often homemade using whatever fruit was in season or preserved, added a touch of sweetness and a splash of color. Together, these ingredients created a meal that was affordable, filling, and delicious enough to become a childhood staple for generations. The peanut butter and jelly sandwich is a lesson in contrasts. Salty and sweet, creamy and sticky, soft bread giving way to a slightly chewy spread. The way the jelly gleams like little jewels on the bread, the peanut butter holding its shape but yielding to pressure, it's a sensory experience that stays with you long after the last bite. For kids, it was a trusty lunchtime companion that never failed to satisfy, whether eaten on a classroom desk, under the shade of an old oak tree, or sprawled out on a picnic blanket in the summer heat. To make this sandwich right, you start with simple ingredients, all easy to find and inexpensive. Soft white sandwich bread, nothing fancy, just the kind you could buy by the loaf at any grocery store. The peanut butter can be creamy or chunky, depending on your preference or what your mom had in the pantry. Chunky peanut butter offers that extra little crunch, while creamy spreads smoothly and melts into the bread. The jelly is usually grape or strawberry, though some families favored other flavors, blackberry, raspberry, or even apricot. Whatever was on hand, homemade or store-bought. Making a peanut butter and jelly sandwich is as comforting as the sandwich itself. Start by spreading a generous layer of peanut butter on one slice of bread. The thickness matters. A skimpy spread just won't do. Then, on the other slice, a layer of jelly that glistens and wiggles when the bread moves. When the two halves meet, they press into one another gently, creating a perfect union of salty and sweet. For a classic finish, cut the sandwich diagonally, revealing the sticky center like a treasure map. This sandwich may be simple, but it carries the weight of memories. Lunchboxes pulled open with anticipation, after-school snacks, and quiet moments of happiness found in small bites. It's a timeless picnic companion, proof that sometimes the cheapest, easiest food can be the most satisfying of all. Bologna and American cheese. Step into the scent of a mid-century kitchen, where the smell of frying bologna mingled with the tangy aroma of melted American cheese. The bologna and American cheese sandwich is the epitome of no-frills, budget-friendly comfort food, an icon of lunchboxes and picnic baskets from the 1950s onward. It's the kind of sandwich that doesn't need fancy ingredients or elaborate preparation. It's honest, satisfying, and deeply rooted in the American culinary landscape. Bologna itself has a fascinating story. Originally an Italian sausage called mortadella, it was adapted into a mass-produced, inexpensive processed meat that found its way into countless households. For families watching every penny, bologna was a practical choice. Plenty of protein for not much money, with a shelf life that made it easy to keep on hand. Paired with creamy, mild American cheese and soft white bread, it became a go-to lunch that could stretch a budget without sacrificing taste. The magic of this sandwich comes from the cooking method. Cold bologna is one thing, but fried bologna? That's something else entirely. When you fry those slices gently in a pan, the edges crisp up and caramelize slightly, turning the meat a bit smoky and more complex. The heat also softens the bologna, making it tender and juicy in a way that cold lunch meat just can't match. Meanwhile, a slice of American cheese melts slowly over the warm meat, becoming gooey and irresistible. To assemble, you start with a couple of slices of soft white sandwich bread. No crust trimming necessary here, just simple and straightforward. Next, lay down several slices of bologna in a hot skillet, frying them until the edges curl and develop that golden brown charm. While the bologna sizzles, place a slice or two of American cheese on top to melt gently. The kitchen fills with a smell that's part nostalgia, part pure hunger. Once your bologna and cheese are perfectly cooked, it's time to bring the sandwich together. Spread a thin layer of mustard or mayonnaise on the bread, depending on what you prefer or what your family did back in the day. The tang of mustard cuts through the richness of the meat and cheese, while mayo adds a creamy balance. Layer the hot bologna and melted cheese between the bread slices, press gently, and you've got yourself a sandwich that's warm, hearty, and utterly satisfying. Eating this sandwich brings back memories of school lunches, roadside picnics, and backyard adventures. It's a reminder of simpler times when good food was about flavor, familiarity, and a little bit of love. Cheap, cheerful, and downright delicious, the bologna and American cheese sandwich holds a special place in the hearts of many who grew up on its humble yet hearty goodness. Egg salad on white bread. Egg salad might just be the unsung hero of childhood picnic sandwiches, creamy, tangy, and comforting in a way that feels like a gentle hug from the inside. There's a quiet nostalgia in that first bite, the soft bread giving way to a luscious filling of chopped hard-boiled eggs, mayo, and a whisper of mustard. It's the kind of sandwich that doesn't shout for attention, but quietly settles into your memory as a lunchtime classic. Egg salad's story is one of simplicity and thrift. Eggs have long been an affordable protein staple in kitchens across the country, especially during the Depression era and through the mid-20th century. Families learned to stretch a few eggs into enough filling for multiple sandwiches, mixing in pantry staples like mayonnaise and mustard to add flavor and keep things moist. Sometimes, a little finely chopped celery or pickle relish sneaked in, adding crunch and a burst of tang that woke up the whole sandwich. Making the perfect egg salad starts with hard-boiled eggs, cooked just right so the yolks are firm but not crumbly, and the whites tender. Once cooled, the eggs are peeled and chopped into small, uneven pieces. No fancy chopping board required, just a simple fork or knife. Into this goes a generous scoop of creamy mayonnaise, which binds the mixture into a spreadable consistency. A dash of yellow mustard lends just the right hint of tang and depth, while a pinch of salt and pepper brings everything into balance. Some versions like to sneak in a bit of sweet pickle relish or a dash of vinegar for an extra zing, but at its core, egg salad remains a humble, straightforward filling. The ingredients are cheap and easy to find, which made egg salad a reliable favorite in many homes. It was the sandwich you could make in a flash from leftovers, the one that transformed a modest kitchen into a lunchroom of simple delights. To assemble, spread a generous layer of egg salad evenly over one slice of soft white bread. The creaminess soaks just slightly into the bread, making every bite rich and satisfying. For those who like a little crunch, topping the egg salad with a crisp leaf of iceberg lettuce adds a refreshing contrast, elevating the sandwich without complicating it. Cut diagonally or into neat rectangles, the egg salad sandwich was often wrapped tightly in wax paper or packed into a lunchbox, ready to be devoured at school recess or during a family picnic under a big shady tree. It was the kind of sandwich that didn't just fill stomachs. It brought comfort, warmth, and a reminder of home. In a world where picnic fare can feel fancy or complicated, the egg salad sandwich stands as a reminder that sometimes the simplest things carry the most heart. Its creamy texture and nostalgic flavor invite you back to those long ago days when a sandwich was more than just food. It was a little piece of happiness, handcrafted with love and a touch of thrift. Tuna salad with a twist. There's something about tuna salad that feels just a bit special, like a step up from the everyday, a sandwich that's still affordable, but carries a hint of sophistication. It's creamy and savory with a little zing, a classic that found its way into picnic baskets and lunchboxes across America after World War II, when canned tuna became widely available and a pantry staple for families everywhere. The story of tuna salad is really the story of convenience meeting comfort. Canned tuna was an affordable, protein-packed option in a time when fresh fish wasn't always easy to come by or within budget. Families embraced it for its shelf stability and versatility, turning it into something delicious and satisfying with just a few pantry staples. It was a practical, frugal choice, but that didn't mean it skimped on flavor. Making tuna salad starts with draining the canned tuna well. You want to avoid soggy sandwiches at all costs. Once the excess liquid is gone, the tuna is flaked into a bowl, fluffy and ready to mingle with creamy mayonnaise. But it's not just mayo that makes the sandwich sing. A finely diced stalk of celery adds a welcome crunch, while a sprinkle of onion powder or minced onion lends subtle sharpness. A squeeze of lemon juice brightens the whole mix, cutting through the richness with a fresh zing. Salt and pepper round out the flavor, bringing it all together like a perfectly tuned chorus. The ingredients are simple, but the texture and flavors create a sandwich that feels like a little celebration. The tuna is soft and savory, the mayo smooth and rich, the celery crisp, and the lemon a lively note that keeps each bite interesting. This is the kind of sandwich that keeps you coming back for more, whether you're sitting on a blanket at a park or tucked into a school cafeteria. When it's time to assemble, grab your soft white or wheat sandwich bread, something that holds the filling without overpowering it. Spread the tuna salad generously, piling it high so every bite is full of that creamy, tangy goodness. No need for extra toppings here. The tuna salad is the star of the show, but a crisp lettuce leaf can add a refreshing crunch if you like. Packed up in wax paper or wrapped in foil, tuna salad sandwiches were a lunchtime favorite, especially in households where stretch and taste mattered equally. They were proof that cheap ingredients, combined with a little know-how, could transform into a satisfying meal that felt homemade and special. In a world that often chases after the latest culinary trends, the tuna salad sandwich reminds us of the joy found in straightforward, resourceful cooking, food that nourishes both body and memory and makes every picnic a little bit better. Ham and mustard. There's something quietly satisfying about a ham and mustard sandwich, the kind of simple, no-nonsense lunch that packs a punch with just a few ingredients. This sandwich speaks of Sunday dinners stretched into weekday lunches, leftovers transformed into easy meals, and the comforting familiarity of classic deli flavors. It's salty, tangy, and utterly down-to-earth, the kind of sandwich that reminds you of kitchen tables and family gatherings. Ham has long been a staple in many households, especially in the era before the convenience of prepackaged lunch meats took hold. A leftover ham from a roast could be sliced thinly and turned into dozens of sandwiches, making it an affordable way to feed a crowd or provide easy lunches for the week ahead. Mustard, bright, sharp, and slightly spicy, cuts through the richness of the ham, balancing the flavors perfectly and waking up the taste buds. To make this sandwich, you'll want thin slices of ham, preferably from the deli or leftover roast, folded lightly to create a tender, layered bite. The bread is usually soft white or sometimes a hearty rye if you're lucky, something sturdy enough to hold the filling without overwhelming it. A generous smear of yellow mustard is key here. It's the tangy counterpoint that brings the sandwich alive. The process is straightforward but satisfying. Spread a thin, even layer of mustard on one slice of bread, juicy, then top with the other slice. No frills, no fuss, just good flavors and reliable comfort. Eating a ham and mustard sandwich evokes memories of packed lunchboxes, roadside picnics, and hurried school lunches. It's a reminder that sometimes the best meals come from the simplest combinations, especially when they carry a little history and a lot of love. This sandwich might not win any awards for fancy ingredients or flashy presentation, but it wins hearts with its honesty and straightforward taste. It's a timeless classic. Proof that cheap, humble food can be full of flavor and memory. Next time you want a quick, satisfying sandwich that tastes like home, this one's ready to deliver. Grilled cheese, the golden childhood melt. If there's one sandwich that instantly takes us back to the cozy warmth of childhood kitchens, it's the grilled cheese, that golden, buttery crust giving way to a molten, gooey center of melted cheese. It's comfort food at its simplest, cheapest, and most satisfying. The smell alone can stop you in your tracks. Butter sizzling in the pan, cheese beginning to bubble, and bread toasting to a perfect, crispy edge. This is the sandwich that defined lunch breaks and rainy afternoons, a small miracle born from humble ingredients. Grilled cheese has a long history as a frugal, filling meal. In times when budgets were tight, this sandwich was a go-to favorite because it required only a few inexpensive staples: white bread, butter, and cheese. American cheese, mild, creamy, and easy to melt, became the star player, beloved for its smooth texture and rich flavor. The sandwich is a testament to the magic that happens when you combine simple ingredients with a little heat and care. To make a grilled cheese sandwich just right, you start by buttering the outside of 2 slices of soft white bread. The butter isn't just for flavor. It creates that golden, crispy crust that contrasts perfectly with the soft, melty interior. Then, place slices of American cheese, or cheddar if you prefer, between the bread. Some families swore by multiple cheese slices for extra gooiness, while others kept it modest, but no less delicious. Cooking the sandwich requires patience and a gentle touch. The bread needs to brown slowly over medium-low heat so the cheese has time to melt without burning the crust. As you flip the sandwich carefully, you get to witness that perfect golden color on both sides, the cheese inside stretching and bubbling just so. The result is a warm, crispy exterior with a luscious, stringy, cheesy center. A simple pleasure that never loses its charm. Eating grilled cheese sandwiches brings a flood of childhood memories. Sitting at the kitchen table on a chilly afternoon, dipping your sandwich into a bowl of tomato soup, or enjoying it wrapped in foil at a family picnic. It's a reminder that even the cheapest meals, when made with love and a little care, can become something truly special. This sandwich doesn't need fancy ingredients or complicated techniques to shine. Its simplicity is its strength, a humble masterpiece that has warmed generations and earned its place as a nostalgic picnic classic. Bologna and cream cheese roll-up. If you ever found yourself in a lunchbox looking for something a little different, yet still comfortingly simple, the bologna and cream cheese roll-up was your friend. This sandwich took the humble bologna to a new level of creamy indulgence without adding any fuss or expense. It's a bite-sized twist on a classic perfect for picnics, school lunches, or any time you wanted a no-mess, tasty snack. Bologna's story as a cheap, reliable meat goes way back, and cream cheese has been the smooth, tangy partner in many a simple sandwich since the early 20th century. The marriage of these two ingredients is a perfect example of mid-century ingenuity. Stretch ingredients, add texture, and keep things affordable. Rather than fussing with bread, this roll-up cuts down on carbs and mess by using the meat itself as a wrapper, spreading cream cheese inside and rolling it tight. The beauty of this sandwich lies in its simplicity. You start with cold slices of bologna, those perfectly round, pink discs that are salty and mild. Then, take softened cream cheese, spread it evenly over the bologna, adding a creamy tang that balances the meat's saltiness. Sometimes, a thin pickle spear is added before rolling, bringing a crunchy, vinegary surprise in the center. The roll-up is then wrapped tight and sliced, if desired, making it easy to eat with fingers and ideal for picnics or packed lunches. This sandwich offers a cool, creamy texture that contrasts nicely with the slightly chewy bologna, and the tang of cream cheese makes every bite satisfying without overwhelming the palate. It's the kind of simple, inventive food that many of us remember fondly, not flashy or gourmet, but reliable, tasty, and perfect for kids and adults alike. Eating a bologna and cream cheese roll-up conjures memories of school cafeterias, church potlucks, and summer picnic blankets. It's a reminder that cheap food, when handled with a little care and creativity, can bring joy and fill stomachs just as well as anything fancy. So next time you want a picnic snack that's easy, portable, and packed with flavor, this throwback roll-up just might be the perfect answer. A little taste of childhood that's as comforting today as it was back then. Cucumber and mayo on white bread. There's a quiet elegance to the cucumber and mayo sandwich that often surprises those who grew up on heartier fare. It's light, refreshing, and simple, almost like a little garden tucked between two slices of soft white bread. This sandwich may not boast the rich proteins of bologna or tuna salad, but it carries a legacy of summer picnics, afternoon teas, and old-fashioned frugality that makes it a cherished part of childhood memories for many. The cucumber sandwich has roots reaching far back to Victorian England, where it was a staple at garden parties and tea time. Over time, it was adopted and adapted in American kitchens, especially during hot summer months when fresh cucumbers were plentiful and appetites leaned towards something cool and crisp. For families watching their budgets, it was an affordable way to add a burst of freshness to picnic fare without breaking the bank. Making a cucumber and mayo sandwich starts with selecting the right cucumber, firm, fresh, and cool to the touch. The trick is to slice it thin enough so the bread doesn't get soggy but thick enough to offer a satisfying crunch. Peeling the cucumber is often recommended, especially if the skin is tough or waxy, leaving behind the pale green flesh that's mild and watery. Next comes the mayo, which isn't just a condiment here, but the creamy glue that holds the sandwich together. Spread a generous layer of mayonnaise evenly over 2 slices of soft white sandwich bread. The mayo adds richness and a subtle tang that complements the fresh, watery crunch of the cucumber slices. Some families like to sprinkle a little salt on the cucumber beforehand, drawing out a bit of moisture and enhancing the flavor. Assembly is simple yet precise. Lay the thin cucumber slices in a neat, overlapping pattern over one mayo-coated slice. The other slice, mayo side down, finishes the sandwich with a soft, yielding touch. For that classic picnic look, many would trim the crusts off, cutting the sandwich into neat rectangles or triangles, an act that somehow made the sandwich feel just a bit fancier. Eating this sandwich is a sensory delight, The crisp coolness of cucumber balanced by the creamy, slightly tangy mayo and the softness of the bread. It's a refreshing break from heavier sandwiches, perfect for hot summer days when appetites call for something light yet satisfying. The cucumber and mayo sandwich reminds us that sometimes the simplest ingredients, prepared with care, can be the most memorable. This sandwich also speaks to the thrift and creativity of past generations, taking what was in season, using what was affordable, and turning it into something that felt special and satisfying. It's a picnic staple that survived decades, a humble but elegant reminder that good food is often found in simplicity. So next time you're packing a picnic or looking for a light lunch, try reaching for the cucumber and mayo sandwich. It's a taste of the past, cool and comforting, and sure to bring a little nostalgia to your day. Bologna and pickle sandwich. If you were a kid lucky enough to discover the curious charm of the bologna and pickle sandwich, you know it's a salty, tangy little secret passed down through family picnics and school lunches. It's the kind of sandwich that surprises the palate. Simple, cheap, but with a flavor combo that sticks in your memory long after the last bite. The crunch of dill pickles meeting the salty softness of bologna creates a satisfying contrast that turns an ordinary sandwich into something worth savoring. Bologna has been a pantry staple in many households for decades, an inexpensive protein source that was easy to keep on hand long before the age of prepackaged deli meats and fancy cold cuts. The addition of pickles brings a punch of acidity and crunch that wakes up the taste buds, cutting through the rich, salty flavor of the meat. Pickles were a common homemade or store-bought staple in many families, cherished for their tang and crunch, and they paired surprisingly well with the mellow, savory bologna. To assemble this sandwich, you start with plain white sandwich bread, the kind that's soft and slightly sweet, perfect for balancing stronger flavors. Layer on generous slices of bologna, cold, not fried in this case, to keep that tender, smooth texture intact. Then comes the star of the show, dill pickle slices. Whether you use classic dill chips or spears sliced thin, the pickle adds a sharp, vinegary bite that contrasts beautifully with the bologna's salty richness. Some people like to add a thin spread of mayonnaise or mustard to the bread for extra moisture and flavor, but this sandwich also shines all on its own. The combination of cold bologna and crisp pickles nestled between soft bread is a lesson in how simple ingredients can come together to create something unexpectedly delicious. Eating a bologna and pickle sandwich is like biting into a small, satisfying mystery, salty, crunchy, soft, and tangy all at once. It's a reminder of carefree childhood lunches, backyard picnics, and the inventive ways families made affordable meals exciting. For many, this sandwich brings back memories of lunchboxes opened with eager anticipation, of summer days spent outside, and the humble joy found in a snack that never needed to be fancy to be good. In today's world of elaborate sandwiches and trendy ingredients, the bologna and pickle sandwich stands as a testament to thrift, simplicity, and the timeless magic of flavors that just work together. It's a humble classic that's easy to make, easy to love, and always ready to bring a bit of nostalgia to the picnic table. Sloppy Joe sliders. Imagine a picnic blanket dotted with these little bundles of saucy goodness. Sloppy Joe sliders, a messy but beloved mid-century favorite turned kid-friendly picnic treat. The Sloppy Joe, with its rich, tangy tomato beef sauce spilling out from soft buns, was a staple in American kitchens during the 1950s and 60s, and these mini versions made it perfect for packed lunches and casual outdoor meals. Sloppy Joes have a fascinating place in American food lore. Their origins are a bit murky, but by mid-century, they were firmly entrenched as an affordable, crowd-pleasing meal. Ground beef simmered in a sweet and tangy sauce of ketchup, mustard, and Worcestershire was economical, filling, and downright delicious. For picnics and school lunches, making them into sliders, tiny sandwiches using soft dinner rolls or slider buns, made the mess manageable and the portions perfect for little hands. The magic of the Sloppy Joe slider is in its sauce. Ground beef is browned until just tender, then simmered in a tangy, slightly sweet tomato-based sauce made with ketchup, a splash of mustard for zing, Worcestershire sauce for depth, and a pinch of sugar. The mixture bubbles and thickens, the flavors melding into that nostalgic, messy sweet classic. It's a sauce that clings lovingly to every bite of soft bread. To assemble, simply spoon a generous mound of the beef mixture onto small soft slider buns. No fancy toppings needed, though a slice of pickle or a bit of shredded cheese can make for a tasty upgrade if you like. These sliders are best served warm, but can also be enjoyed at room temperature, making them ideal for picnics and packed lunches. Eating Sloppy Joe sliders brings back memories of family gatherings, summer barbecues, and school cafeteria favorites. They're messy, sure, but that's part of their charm. The sauce dripping, the bread soaking up every bit, and fingers getting sticky with every bite. These little sandwiches remind us that sometimes food made with a little bit of sauce and a lot of heart is the most memorable of all. In a world often obsessed with neat, Instagram-perfect meals, Sloppy Joe sliders are a delicious throwback to a time when comfort, flavor, and practicality ruled the day. They're affordable, filling, and absolutely worth the mess. Bologna and peanut butter, yes really. If you think peanut butter and jelly is the quintessential childhood sandwich, think again. Because the bologna and peanut butter combo has its own devoted following, rooted in Depression-era thriftiness and a surprising harmony of flavors. It might sound strange to modern ears, but this oddball pairing was born out of necessity, creativity, and a little bit of daring, and it's a nostalgic classic that deserves a second look. During the tough times of the Great Depression and beyond, families needed to make every ingredient count. Peanut butter was prized for its protein and shelf stability, while bologna was a cheap, filling meat option that could be sliced thick or thin, depending on what was available. Combining the two into one sandwich was an economical way to pack a punch of protein and flavor without spending much. The slightly salty, savory bologna met the creamy, nutty sweetness of peanut butter, creating an unexpected but oddly satisfying taste. To make this sandwich, you start with soft, white sandwich bread, the kind that's slightly sweet and pillowy, perfect for balancing stronger flavors. Spread a generous layer of peanut butter over one slice, creamy or chunky depending on your preference. Then layer cold slices of bologna on top. No frying here, the sandwich is best served cold to keep the peanut butter smooth and the bologna tender. The texture is a curious mix. The smooth, thick peanut butter contrasting with the thin, slightly chewy bologna slices. The salty, smoky notes of the meat play off the nutty sweetness, creating a flavor combo that's a little like a savory sweet dance on the tongue. It's not for everyone, but for those who grew up with it, it's a beloved taste memory packed with childhood nostalgia. Eating a bologna and peanut butter sandwich might raise an eyebrow at first, but for many, it's a reminder of times when frugality sparked creativity and nothing went to waste. It's a reminder that the best comfort food often comes from humble beginnings, combining whatever's on hand into something unexpectedly delicious. So if you're curious or feeling adventurous, give this throwback sandwich a try. It might just surprise you with its old-fashioned charm, and if nothing else, it's a fascinating taste of the past that tells a story all its own. Turkey and cranberry sauce. There's a certain quiet magic that happens when leftover turkey meets a generous smear of cranberry sauce between two slices of soft bread. The turkey and cranberry sauce sandwich is a beloved leftover tradition, especially around the holidays, but it quickly became a picnic favorite and an everyday lunch staple for many families. It's a simple combination that carries the warmth of Thanksgiving dinners and the ease of a quick, satisfying meal. This sandwich tells a story of resourcefulness. When the holiday feast ended, the turkey and cranberry sauce didn't go to waste. They were lovingly transformed into lunches for the days that followed. This frugal yet flavorful tradition speaks to a time when nothing edible was thrown away, and leftovers were reinvented into new meals with just a little creativity. The combination of savory, lean turkey meat with the sweet, tangy punch of cranberry sauce creates a balance that's both comforting and refreshing. To make the perfect turkey and cranberry sandwich, start with slices of tender, leftover turkey breast, thinly sliced but still juicy. The bread is typically soft white or whole wheat, something neutral enough to let the filling shine without overpowering it. Spread a generous layer of cranberry sauce, whether homemade or canned, on one slice of bread. The sauce's bright red color and sweet tart flavor bring a burst of freshness and a touch of festivity to the sandwich. Layer the turkey slices over the cranberry sauce, piling them high for a hearty bite. Some people like to add a bit of mayonnaise or a thin slice of cheese for extra creaminess, but the sandwich is perfectly delicious on its own. When you close it up, the soft bread gently presses into the filling, melding the flavors and textures into a satisfying whole. Eating a turkey and cranberry sauce sandwich conjures memories of family holidays, chilly fall picnics, and the simple joy of turning leftovers into something new and exciting. It's a reminder that sometimes the best meals come from what's already on hand, transforming humble ingredients into a comforting, flavorful treat. In today's fast-paced world, the turkey and cranberry sandwich invites us to slow down and savor the little things, to honor tradition, and to appreciate the beauty of simple, homemade food that connects us to family and memories. Next time you find yourself with leftover turkey, don't toss it aside. Grab some cranberry sauce and soft bread and enjoy a sandwich that's more than just food. It's a delicious slice of nostalgia. Pimento cheese spread. If you grew up anywhere in the American South, the mention of pimento cheese likely brings a rush of memories. The creamy, tangy, slightly spicy spread that's as much a tradition as sweet tea or a front porch swing. Pimento cheese is the kind of picnic staple that's both humble and bold, made with simple, affordable ingredients that come together to create a spread bursting with flavor and nostalgia. The origins of pimento cheese stretch back over a century, believed to have been invented in southern kitchens as an easy, no-fuss way to turn inexpensive shredded cheddar and mayonnaise into something special. The addition of diced pimentos, those mild, sweet red peppers, gives the spread its characteristic color and gentle kick. Over the years, it has become a symbol of Southern hospitality, a go-to sandwich filling, dip, or cracker topper at family gatherings and church socials. Making pimento cheese starts with shredded, sharp cheddar cheese, the sharpness balancing the creamy mayonnaise base. The cheese is mixed thoroughly with mayo until it reaches a spreadable consistency, neither too dry nor too runny. Then, diced pimentos are stirred in, lending that bright orange hue and a subtle sweetness. For a little extra zing, some recipes call for a pinch of cayenne pepper or a dash of hot sauce, just enough to make your taste buds sit up and take notice. Salt and pepper round out the flavors, making it a spread that's rich, creamy, and perfectly seasoned. To assemble a pimento cheese sandwich, spread a thick, generous layer of this vibrant mixture onto soft white bread. The richness of the cheese and mayo contrasts beautifully with the pillowy bread, making each bite creamy, tangy, and utterly satisfying. Often, the crusts were trimmed away for a neat, tidy sandwich, ready to be wrapped up for a picnic or packed in a lunchbox. Eating a pimento cheese sandwich is like tasting a piece of history, a comforting reminder of family kitchens, southern summers, and the resourceful spirit of cooks who turned simple ingredients into unforgettable dishes. It's a sandwich that's affordable, easy to make, and rich with flavor, proving that sometimes the simplest recipes leave the biggest impressions. So whether you're sitting on a picnic blanket in the sunshine or reminiscing on a lazy afternoon, a pimento cheese sandwich offers a delicious, nostalgic bite of tradition that stood the test of time. Ham salad spread on bread. The ham salad spread sandwich is a perfect example of frugal ingenuity transforming leftovers into lunchtime gold. For families who enjoyed a hearty ham dinner, the bits and slices left over didn't go to waste. Instead, they were finely chopped and mixed with pantry staples to create a creamy, flavorful spread that turned simple white bread into a satisfying meal. This sandwich was a staple of school lunches and picnic baskets alike, cheap, filling, and full of character. Making ham salad spread starts with chopping leftover ham into tiny pieces, tender enough to mix well but still offering a bit of texture. The ham is then combined with mayonnaise, which adds creaminess and moisture, making the spread easy to slather onto bread. A touch of mustard adds a bit of tang, while sweet pickle relish brings crunch and a hint of sweetness that brightens the whole mixture. Salt and pepper round out the flavors, balancing savory and tangy notes into a harmonious whole. The beauty of ham salad is in its versatility. Some families preferred it smooth and almost pâté-like, while others liked a chunkier texture with bits of ham and relish standing out. Whichever the style, the spread was always rich, satisfying, and a little indulgent, despite its humble ingredients. To assemble, simply spread a generous layer of the ham salad onto soft white sandwich bread. The bread acts as a tender backdrop, soaking up some of the creamy mixture and making each bite tender and flavorful. Many packed these sandwiches tightly in wax paper or sandwich bags, ready to be enjoyed during school recess or family outings. Eating a ham salad sandwich brings back memories of kitchen ingenuity and family resourcefulness, of cooks who knew how to stretch every ingredient and make meals that felt both comforting and special. It's a reminder that leftovers can be elevated with just a few simple additions, turning what might seem mundane into something worth savoring. In today's fast food world, the ham salad spread sandwich stands as a humble, delicious throwback, proof that cheap ingredients, when combined with a bit of care and love, can create something that feels like a homemade hug. Deviled ham sandwich. Few sandwiches carry the distinctive tang and zest of the deviled ham sandwich, a lunchtime classic that found a loyal following in many households thanks to its unique flavor and convenience. Born from the era of canned goods and pantry staples, deviled ham spread was an affordable, shelf-stable way to enjoy a zesty, protein-packed sandwich, filling with minimal fuss. Deviled ham originally gained popularity in the late 19th and early 20th centuries, when canned meat spreads became a practical solution for busy families and those living in rural areas. The deviled in deviled ham refers to the seasoning, a blend of mustard, spices, and sometimes a touch of cayenne pepper or paprika, giving the spread a piquant kick that sets it apart from plain ham salad or cold cuts. This bold flavor made it a favorite for kids and adults alike who appreciated a little spice in their sandwich. Making a deviled ham sandwich is wonderfully simple. Most often, the spread comes canned, ready to use straight from the jar or tin, making it a quick choice for lunchboxes and picnics. To build the sandwich, spread a generous layer of deviled ham onto soft white bread. Some prefer to add a dab of mayonnaise or a thin slice of cheese for creaminess and balance, but the deviled ham spread usually stands strong on its own. The texture is smooth yet hearty, with a slightly coarse, meaty bite and a lively, tangy flavor that wakes up the palate. The bright mustard and spice notes cut through the richness, making every bite memorable. It's a sandwich that often surprises newcomers with its bold character, but keeps loyal fans coming back for more. Eating a deviled ham sandwich can transport you back to simpler times, picnic blankets laid out in backyard shade, lunchboxes opened at school with eager anticipation, and the practicality of quick, tasty food that didn't require fancy ingredients or hours of prep. It's a reminder that cheap, shelf-stable foods can carry a lot of flavor and history, telling stories of resourcefulness and family traditions. In today's world of gourmet spreads and trendy sandwiches, the deviled ham sandwich holds firm as a beloved classic. Its bold taste and humble origins make it a unique picnic favorite, one that's as affordable as it is unforgettable. Bologna, cheese, and lettuce. The bologna, cheese, and lettuce sandwich is a humble classic that elevates the simple bologna sandwich into something a bit more textured and fresh, yet still wonderfully affordable and satisfying. It's the kind of sandwich that many of us grew up with, whether packed into lunchboxes, served at picnics, or wrapped up for an impromptu snack after a long day of playing outside. There's a nostalgia wrapped up in every bite. The salty, savory bologna, the creamy melted cheese, or sometimes just cold slices, and the crisp crunch of fresh lettuce, all tucked inside soft bread. Bologna itself is a processed meat with roots tracing back to the Italian mortadella, but by mid-20th century America, it had become a pantry staple, beloved for its affordability and long shelf life. For families watching budgets, bologna was an accessible protein that could stretch meals and feed hungry kids without costing a fortune. Adding cheese to the mix, typically American or mild cheddar, brought richness and melty creaminess that made the sandwich feel a little more special. Lettuce, often iceberg, introduced a fresh, crisp contrast that cut through the richness and added a lightness to the sandwich. This trio, bologna, cheese, and lettuce, was a perfect balance of textures and flavors. The soft, slightly salty bologna, the smooth, mild cheese, and the refreshing crunch of lettuce came together in a way that was simple yet deeply satisfying. Many families kept their sandwich bread simple, white, soft, and yielding, letting the fillings take center stage. Making this sandwich is straightforward, but done right. It's all about the layers. Start with 2 slices of soft white bread, sometimes lightly buttered or spread with mayonnaise to add moisture and richness. Lay down 1 or 2 slices of bologna, cold or lightly fried, depending on preference. Some households favored frying the bologna until the edges curled and crisped, enhancing flavor and texture. Others preferred it cold for a softer bite. Next comes the cheese. If using American or cheddar slices, the cheese could be placed cold or allowed to soften slightly, melting just a bit if the bologna was warm. The cheese adds a creamy, savory layer that complements the bologna's salty punch. Finally, a fresh leaf of iceberg lettuce or crisp romaine tops the sandwich, adding that essential crunch and a cool, refreshing contrast. Closing the sandwich, the bread presses gently against the fillings, holding everything together with a softness that makes every bite tender. Cutting the sandwich diagonally, or into rectangles, reveals the layers inside, a visual treat alongside the taste. Eating a bologna, cheese, and lettuce sandwich brings back vivid memories of school lunches and family picnics. It's the kind of food that didn't require fancy ingredients or complicated techniques, just affordable, wholesome basics combined with a bit of care and a touch of creativity. For many, it was a dependable favorite, a sandwich that was both filling and flavorful, that brought comfort and joy with every bite. In an era when sandwich options can range from gourmet to exotic, this straightforward trio reminds us of the beauty and simplicity and the power of tradition. It's a testament to how a few modest ingredients, thoughtfully combined, can create something timeless and satisfying. Whether cold and soft or warm and slightly crisped, the bologna, cheese, and lettuce sandwich remains a beloved throwback, a sandwich that's as comforting today as it was decades ago. Peanut butter and banana. Few sandwiches evoke as much childhood nostalgia as the peanut butter and banana combo, a sweet, creamy, and satisfying treat that's been a secret favorite in lunchboxes and picnic baskets for decades. This sandwich combines the rich, nutty flavor of peanut butter with the natural sweetness and softness of ripe banana, creating a harmony that's both comforting and unexpectedly delightful. The origins of peanut butter and banana sandwiches are rooted in American kitchens stretching back to the early 20th century, gaining popularity as a hearty, affordable snack that required no cooking and few ingredients. This sandwich wasn't just a school lunch staple, it was famously beloved by Elvis Presley himself, who helped immortalize the combo as a Southern comfort food classic. Its enduring appeal lies in the way the creamy peanut butter and mellow banana play off each other, balancing salty richness with fruity sweetness. To make this sandwich, start with soft white bread, the kind that's tender and slightly sweet, perfect for wrapping around the filling without overpowering it. Spread a generous layer of creamy peanut butter on one slice, thick enough to hold the banana slices in place and add that signature nuttiness. Then, peel and slice a ripe banana into thin, even rounds. The key is using a banana that's ripe but not mushy, offering just the right softness without turning the sandwich into a sticky mess. Layer the banana slices evenly over the peanut butter, covering the bread in a neat, inviting pattern. The sweetness of the banana complements the salty, nutty peanut butter, while the creamy textures of both meld beautifully with the soft bread. Close the sandwich with the second slice of bread, pressing gently to hold everything together. Some families like to add a drizzle of honey, a sprinkle of cinnamon, or even a few chocolate chips for an extra touch of indulgence, but the classic peanut butter and banana sandwich is delicious in its simple, unadorned form. It's a snack that's easy to prepare, affordable, and packed with energy, making it perfect for busy school days, family picnics, or an after-school pick-me-up. Eating this sandwich brings a flood of memories, of lunchboxes opened with eager anticipation, of kitchen counters where sandwiches were assembled with care, and of backyard picnics under the sun. The peanut butter and banana sandwich is more than just a meal. It's a reminder of childhood's simple pleasures and the timeless magic of combining a few humble ingredients to create something memorable. In a world where sandwich trends come and go, this classic remains a steadfast favorite, proof that good food doesn't have to be complicated or expensive to be loved. It's creamy, sweet, satisfying, and deeply nostalgic, a true childhood favorite that continues to bring joy with every bite. Egg and pickle sandwich. For those who grew up in households where tangy meets creamy in the most delightful way, the egg and pickle sandwich is a nostalgic gem, a picnic classic that surprises many with its sharp, refreshing twist. It's a sandwich that combines the smooth, mellow richness of egg salad with the crisp, vinegary snap of dill pickles, creating a flavor and texture contrast that's both comforting and lively. Egg salad itself has been a frugal favorite for generations, easy to make, affordable, and satisfying. But add dill pickles into the mix, and suddenly you get a sandwich that awakens the palate. This combination likely arose in kitchens where nothing was wasted and where cooks loved to experiment with whatever was at hand to stretch meals and add variety. Pickles, whether homemade or store-bought, were a staple on the family table, treasured for their sharp bite and crunchy texture, and they added a bright note that lifted the creamy egg salad to new heights. To prepare this sandwich, start with a classic egg salad, hard-boiled eggs chopped finely and mixed with mayonnaise, a touch of mustard, salt, and pepper. The result is a creamy, tangy filling that spreads smoothly on bread. The pickles used are typically dill, sliced thinly to ensure a balanced bite without overpowering the egg salad. Their acidity and crunch provide a perfect counterpoint to the softness and richness of the eggs. Soft white bread is the usual choice, its neutral flavor and tender crumb perfectly complementing the creamy filling and crisp pickle slices. For assembly, spread a generous layer of egg salad on one slice of bread, then arrange the pickle slices evenly over the egg salad, ensuring every bite has that burst of tangy crunch. Top with the second slice of bread, press lightly, and cut the sandwich into your preferred shape. Eating an egg and pickle sandwich is an experience in contrasts, the cool creaminess of egg salad meeting the bright, sharp crunch of dill pickles, all wrapped in soft, comforting bread. It's a sandwich that feels both indulgent and refreshing, making it perfect for warm summer picnics, school lunches, or a quick, satisfying snack. This sandwich evokes memories of family kitchens where resourcefulness met creativity, where every ingredient was cherished and transformed into something delicious. It's a reminder that sometimes the best meals come from simple combinations and a little culinary ingenuity. In a modern food world often dominated by bold fusion flavors and exotic ingredients, the egg and pickle sandwich holds its own as a charming, old-fashioned classic. It's affordable, easy to make, and full of personality. Proof that the simplest sandwiches often leave the most lasting impressions. Bologna and ketchup. For many kids growing up in the mid-20th century, the bologna and ketchup sandwich was a surprisingly beloved classic. One of those quirky flavor combinations that somehow just worked. It's salty, sweet, and simple, capturing the spirit of thrift, childhood curiosity, and the inventiveness of lunchbox chefs everywhere. This sandwich, while humble, is a reminder that sometimes the most unassuming ingredients come together to make lasting memories. Bologna was a pantry staple for many families because it was affordable, readily available, and filling. Its smooth, salty slices made it perfect for quick sandwiches, but adding ketchup introduced a sweet tang that brightened the meat's richness. While it might raise an eyebrow today, for generations this pairing was comfort food, simple, satisfying, and quick to prepare. Making a bologna and ketchup sandwich starts with soft white bread, the kind that's pillowy and neutral enough to let the flavors shine without overpowering them. The key to success is choosing good quality bologna, sliced evenly and cold. While some preferred their bologna fried for added flavor and texture, the cold version kept the sandwich light and easy to assemble. On one slice of bread, spread a thin but generous layer of ketchup. The ketchup adds a vibrant splash of color and that familiar sweet tart flavor kids adored. Layer the bologna slices over the ketchup, allowing the two flavors to mingle. Then top with the second slice of bread, pressing gently to hold the sandwich together. Eating a bologna and ketchup sandwich is an experience that combines savory saltiness with sweet tang. It's simple but effective, a satisfying bite that fuels playground adventures and school days. This sandwich wasn't about fancy ingredients or elaborate recipes. It was about making the most of what you had and finding joy in unexpected combinations. The bologna and ketchup sandwich is a nostalgic reminder of childhood's carefree days when creativity in the kitchen meant experimenting with whatever was on hand. It's a testament to thrift, resourcefulness, and the enduring charm of classic comfort food. Today, this sandwich stands as a quirky, delicious throwback. Proof that some of the most memorable meals come from humble origins and a willingness to embrace the unusual. For anyone seeking a taste of the past, the bologna and ketchup sandwich is an invitation to rediscover the joy of simple, affordable food made with a dash of creativity and a lot of heart. Liverwurst and onion. There's a certain boldness to the liverwurst and onion sandwich, a flavor combination that's stood the test of time and speaks to immigrant kitchens, thriftiness, and a love for rich, savory tastes. It's a sandwich that may raise eyebrows today, but for many families, it was a beloved staple, cheap, hearty, and packed with personality. Liverwurst, a soft, spreadable sausage made primarily from pork liver, has German roots and became a common deli meat in American households with immigrant heritage. Its smooth, rich texture and distinctive flavor made it perfect for sandwiches, especially when paired with the sharp crunch and bite of raw onions. The pairing is a lesson in contrasts. Creamy meets crisp, mild meets pungent, savory meets sharp. To make this sandwich, you'll want a generous spread of liverwurst, which often comes pre-sliced or in a spreadable form. Spread it thickly on soft rye or white sandwich bread. Rye bread adds an extra layer of flavor, its slightly tangy, hearty crumb complementing the richness of the liverwurst. Then, thinly slice raw onions. Red onions work well for their milder bite, but yellow or white onions bring a sharper tang, and layer them generously atop the liverwurst. Some like to add a touch of mustard or a sprinkle of black pepper to cut through the richness, but the sandwich holds its own with just these few ingredients. The onion's crunch balances the silky liverwurst, making every bite a complex, savory experience. Eating a liverwurst and onion sandwich can be an acquired taste, but it's a cherished one in many families, often tied to memories of old-world kitchens, deli counters, and picnics shared with loved ones. It's proof that humble, inexpensive ingredients can come together to create something hearty, flavorful, and deeply satisfying. In today's world of fast food and gourmet sandwiches, the liverwurst and onion sandwich stands as a proud throwback. a sandwich rich in history and flavor, ready to surprise and delight anyone willing to take a bite. Cheese and tomato. Few sandwiches capture the essence of summer quite like the classic cheese and tomato sandwich. It's a simple, fresh, and satisfying combination that many of us remember fondly from childhood picnics, garden lunches, or the occasional quick snack after playing outside. This sandwich speaks to the beauty of straightforward ingredients. Nothing fancy, just the perfect marriage of creamy cheese, juicy tomato, and soft bread. The cheese and tomato sandwich has humble roots but carries a timeless appeal. Cheese, whether mild American, creamy cheddar, or a softer variety, offers a rich, savory base. Tomato, sliced thick and ripe from the summer garden or local market, adds a juicy burst of sweetness and acidity. Together, they create a balance of flavors and textures that feel light yet filling, fresh but indulgent. Choosing the right ingredients is key. Soft white sandwich bread is traditional, its gentle crumb providing a tender contrast to the firm slices of tomato and cheese. The tomatoes should be ripe and juicy, but not overly soft, just enough to hold their shape and provide that satisfying pop with every bite. Cheese slices can be cold and firm, or allowed to soften slightly at room temperature for a creamier texture. To assemble, start by layering the cheese on one slice of bread, then add slices of tomato, seasoned lightly with a pinch of salt to enhance the natural flavors. The salt helps draw out the tomato's juices and brings out its sweetness, making each bite sing. Some might add a leaf of fresh basil or a dash of black pepper for an extra layer of flavor, but the classic version keeps it simple. Once the sandwich is closed, pressing gently helps the flavors meld together and ensures every bite includes a bit of cheese and tomato. Cutting the sandwich into triangles or rectangles reveals the vibrant red of the tomato against the pale cheese and bread, a feast for the eyes as well as the taste buds. Eating a cheese and tomato sandwich is like tasting summer itself, the freshness of the garden combined with creamy comfort. It's a reminder of slower days, sunshine, and the joy of simple, homemade food. Perfect for a picnic, lunchbox, or quick snack, this sandwich is a celebration of what good ingredients can do when paired with care. In a world full of complex flavors and trendy dishes, the cheese and tomato sandwich stands proud as a nostalgic favorite, a testament to the fact that sometimes the simplest sandwiches leave the deepest impressions. Bologna and potato chips. If you were a kid in the mid-20th century, chances are you stumbled upon the crunchy, salty surprise of a bologna and potato chip sandwich, a playful, textural twist on a simple lunchbox staple. This sandwich wasn't just about taste. It was about fun, contrast, and the joy of sneaking a little extra crunch and salt into an everyday meal. It's a quirky, beloved picnic and school lunch classic that's survived decades with its mix of creamy, salty, and crispy delights. Bologna, cheap and filling, was a lunchbox hero for families mindful of budget. It was tender, slightly salty, and paired perfectly with soft white bread. Potato chips, on the other hand, brought crunch, salt, and a bit of excitement to an otherwise soft sandwich. Kids loved the way the chips cracked and crunched with every bite, adding texture and flavor that made the sandwich feel like a little treat. To make this sandwich, start with 2 slices of soft white sandwich bread. Nothing fancy. Just the kind that's easy to bite into and soft enough to hold the filling. Spread mayonnaise or mustard on one or both slices, depending on preference. The mayo adds creaminess that balances the salty chips, while mustard adds a tangy bite. Next, layer on slices of cold bologna, thin enough to fold but thick enough to provide a meaty bite. Then the fun begins. Pile on a handful of your favorite potato chips, crushing them slightly so they nestle into the sandwich without spilling everywhere. The chips provide a salty, crunchy surprise with every mouthful. Close the sandwich gently to keep the chips in place, and if you like, cut it in half diagonally for that classic look. Eating this sandwich is an adventure in texture. The soft bread and tender bologna give way to bursts of crisp, salty crunch from the chips. It's a sensory experience that's equal parts satisfying and playful. This sandwich speaks to childhood creativity, finding ways to make ordinary lunches exciting with a simple addition. It's a reminder that great food doesn't always have to be complicated. Sometimes, it's just about mixing textures and flavors you love in new ways. The bologna and potato chip sandwich remains a nostalgic favorite for those who grew up with it. It's easy to make, affordable, and guaranteed to bring back memories of lunchboxes, backyard picnics, and the joy of crunchy surprises hidden inside simple sandwiches. Bologna and relish. There's a certain charm in the bologna and relish sandwich, a sweet and salty bite that evokes memories of family kitchens, packed lunches, and the clever ways cooks stretched ingredients to feed hungry kids. It's a simple pairing that balances the mild, savory taste of bologna with the bright, tangy sweetness of sweet pickle relish, creating a sandwich that's both affordable and full of flavor. Bologna, as a processed meat, has long been a budget-friendly staple in American households. It's tender, easy to slice, and filling, perfect for lunches that needed to be quick, simple, and satisfying. Sweet pickle relish, on the other hand, adds a punch of flavor that wakes up the palate and brings a lively crunch to every bite. Families often kept jars of relish on hand for everything from hot dogs to sandwiches, and it quickly became a beloved condiment in its own right. To assemble a bologna and relish sandwich, start with 2 slices of soft white bread. Some people like to spread a thin layer of mayonnaise on the bread first to add moisture and richness, while others prefer to keep it simple. Layer on slices of cold bologna, folded if desired for extra thickness and texture. Then spoon a generous amount of sweet pickle relish evenly over the bologna, spreading it gently to cover the meat without overpowering the bread. The sweet relish cuts through the mild saltiness of the bologna with its bright vinegary notes and soft crunch, making the sandwich a delightful mix of textures and tastes. It's a bite that's part savory, part sweet, and wholly satisfying. Eating a bologna and relish sandwich brings back images of lunchboxes opened under the schoolyard shade, family picnics on warm afternoons, and the small joys found in simple, homemade food. It's a reminder of the creativity and thrift that made inexpensive ingredients stretch into meals that felt special. In today's world of elaborate sandwich spreads and gourmet ingredients, the bologna and relish sandwich remains a humble favorite, proof that sometimes the simplest combinations make the biggest impact. It's easy to make, budget-friendly, and full of personality, a true picnic classic that's ready to bring a little nostalgia to your table. Chicken salad sandwich. The chicken salad sandwich is a comforting classic that many of us grew up enjoying, especially during warm weather picnics and easy lunches made from leftovers. It's a perfect example of frugal ingenuity, taking leftover cooked chicken, adding a few simple ingredients from the pantry, and turning it into a creamy, flavorful filling that feels fresh and satisfying. This sandwich has long been a beloved staple in family kitchens, where nothing went to waste and every bite carried a little homemade love. Chicken salad's appeal lies in its versatility and simplicity. The basic components are cooked chicken, usually chopped or shredded, combined with mayonnaise for creaminess and diced celery for crunch. Some recipes add a touch of mustard or a squeeze of lemon juice to brighten the flavors, while salt and pepper help bring everything together. The result is a filling that's cool, creamy, and full of texture, making it an ideal sandwich for hot days when heavier meals just won't do. To make the sandwich, start with cooked chicken, whether from a roast, baked breast, or even leftover chicken from the dinner table. Chop it finely or shred it with your fingers, ensuring the pieces are bite-sized and easy to eat. In a mixing bowl, fold the chicken together with a generous scoop of mayonnaise, adding diced celery for that signature crunch. The celery adds freshness and contrast to the creamy chicken, making every bite interesting. Season the mixture with a little mustard, salt, and pepper. Some like to add a splash of lemon juice to cut through the richness and add a touch of brightness. Once mixed, the chicken salad is ready to become the star of your sandwich. Choose your bread wisely. Soft white or whole wheat are common favorites, their tender crumb providing a neutral backdrop that lets the filling shine. Spread the chicken salad evenly across one slice, then top with another slice of bread. Some like to add a leaf of crisp lettuce or a slice of tomato for extra freshness and color, but the sandwich stands beautifully on its own. Eating a chicken salad sandwich often brings back memories of family gatherings, summer lunches, and the comforting routine of homemade meals. It's a reminder of kitchens filled with love and resourcefulness, where leftovers were celebrated rather than discarded. The sandwich is creamy and cool, yet filling enough to satisfy hunger during busy days or lazy picnics. In today's fast-paced world, the chicken salad sandwich remains a timeless favorite. Its simple ingredients, affordable cost, and delightful flavor make it a go-to meal for generations past and present. It's a humble reminder that good food doesn't have to be complicated. Sometimes it just needs a little mayo, a bit of crunch, and the warmth of tradition. Cold cut combo. The cold cut combo sandwich is the ultimate thrifty, no-fuss meal that many families grew up loving. An economical way to make a hearty lunch using whatever deli meats were on hand. It's a flexible, satisfying sandwich that brings together an assortment of sliced turkey, ham, bologna, or salami, layered with cheese and a little mustard or mayo to keep things moist and flavorful. This sandwich was a staple in lunchboxes and picnic baskets alike, cherished for its convenience, taste, and the simple joy of mixing whatever was available into one satisfying bite. In the mid-20th century, cold cuts became a lunchtime favorite across America. The rise of supermarkets and deli counters made sliced meats widely accessible, and families quickly embraced their convenience. Instead of relying on just one meat, the cold-cut combo took advantage of variety and thrift, using smaller amounts of several meats to create a sandwich packed with protein and flavor. To assemble, start with 2 slices of soft white or wheat bread, the kind that's soft enough to fold but sturdy enough to hold the layers. Spread a thin layer of mayonnaise or mustard on one or both slices for moisture and tang. Then pile on a mix of sliced deli meats, turkey's mild, lean flavor, ham's salty richness, bologna's familiarity, and maybe even salami's spice all contribute to a complex, satisfying profile. A slice of American or cheddar cheese is usually added, melting the layers together and adding creamy richness. For some, a leaf of lettuce or a few slices of tomato make their way in, adding freshness and crunch, but the core is always the meat and cheese combination. Once assembled, the sandwich is pressed gently to meld the layers, then cut diagonally for that classic look. Every bite delivers a mix of textures and flavors, savory, salty, creamy, and slightly tangy, all wrapped in tender bread. Eating a cold-cut combo sandwich is like a mini celebration of deli favorites, all in one neat package. It's a reminder of simpler times when good food was about practicality, taste, and sharing. This sandwich was perfect for family picnics, quick lunches, or any time you wanted a filling meal that didn't require cooking. Even today, the cold-cut combo holds a special place in the hearts of many as a nostalgic, easy-to-make lunch. Its affordability, adaptability, and comforting flavors make it a timeless classic ready to be enjoyed by a new generation of sandwich lovers. Classic PB&J Redux. Let's circle back to where many childhood picnic sandwiches begin and end, the classic peanut butter and jelly sandwich. But this time, think of it as the ultimate comfort food wrapped in nostalgia, a humble hero that transcends decades and generations with its perfect balance of sweet, salty, creamy, and soft. Peanut butter and jelly isn't just a sandwich, it's a memory maker. It's the scent of warm summer days, the feeling of sticky fingers, the simple joy of unwrapping something so perfectly satisfying that it needs no embellishment. During tough economic times like the Great Depression, this sandwich emerged as a frugal powerhouse, delivering protein, sugar, and comfort in a neat package. Its affordability made it accessible to families of all backgrounds, and its taste made it universally beloved. The magic is in the ingredients: soft white bread, a thick smear of creamy peanut butter, and a generous layer of sweet, shimmering jelly or jam, usually grape or strawberry, though homemade preserves have their own cherished place. The peanut butter brings richness and depth, the jelly adds fruity sweetness and moisture, and the bread ties it all together with gentle softness. Making the perfect PB&J is an art of balance. Spread the peanut butter evenly on one slice, thick enough to hold the jelly but not so thick it overwhelms. On the other slice, spread jelly in a way that it glistens and spreads easily without dripping. Bringing the two halves together creates a sandwich that's both classic and endlessly comforting. Cutting the sandwich diagonally reveals that gooey center, a perfect invitation to dive in. Every bite offers a blend of textures and flavors that feels both nostalgic and timeless. This sandwich reminds us that sometimes the simplest foods hold the deepest meaning. It's a symbol of childhood, of family lunches, and of the ability to find joy and satisfaction in the small, inexpensive things. Even as tastes evolve and food trends change, the classic peanut butter and jelly sandwich remains a treasured picnic staple, proof that comfort and nostalgia go hand in hand, wrapped in 2 slices of bread. As we fold up our picnic blanket and tuck away these 25 humble sandwiches, there's a quiet magic lingering in the air. A reminder that some of the most unforgettable meals don't come from fancy ingredients or complicated recipes, but from simple, affordable combinations crafted with care. These sandwiches we've revisited today are more than just food. They're memories wrapped in wax paper, tastes of childhood summers, school lunches, and family gatherings under wide-open skies. It's easy to forget in today's whirlwind world of gourmet trends and endless choices how much joy and comfort can come from a slice of soft bread slathered with peanut butter or a folded bologna with just a dab of mustard. These sandwiches carried us through times of thrift and plenty alike, nourished generations, and brought families together with every bite. They are proof that good food is not measured by its price tag, but by the love and tradition baked into it. When you unwrap one of these old-fashioned picnic staples, you're biting into a piece of history, a shared cultural moment that connects us across decades and kitchen tables. Whether it's the creamy tang of egg salad, the surprising crunch of potato chips tucked inside bologna, or the sweet warmth of peanut butter and jelly, these sandwiches are little acts of love. Crafted with whatever was on hand, made to stretch meals, and given with care. So next time you're packing a picnic or simply looking for a quick, satisfying lunch, don't overlook these classic, cheap sandwiches. They remind us that sometimes the simplest meals are the most memorable, that nostalgia tastes like soft bread and familiar flavors, and that happiness often comes in the form of a sandwich. Thank you for joining me on this delicious trip down memory lane. I hope these recipes inspire you to bring a little of that old-fashioned comfort back to your table, whether you're feeding family, friends, or just yourself. Because in the end, food isn't just about filling our stomachs, it's about filling our hearts and making memories that last a lifetime. Here's to the humble picnic sandwich, cheap, cheerful, and full of love.